Hey everyone, I'm Scott Thomas, and this is Getting to Know the Family. Hi, I'm super excited to have our very first episode of Getting to Know the Family, a show where we get to know our brothers and sisters in Christ here at Holy Family Parish. During the month of May, we honor our Blessed Mother, and I thought how appropriate that our first guest is also a mother. Mary Herbst and her husband Gary have raised 6 children in this parish. She's also been a sacristan, involved in festival, numerous activities here at the parish. So come on with me as we get to know Mary Herbst. How long have you been a parishioner here at Holy Family?
I have been a parishioner since, I think, 1990.
Okay.
So I met my husband here in the young adult group, and we got married in 92 here by Father Dave Schwartz, a Jesuit priest who was assigned here at the time. So
Okay.
we've been parishioners here together all this time.
Awesome. Okay. And what was the first ministry you ever joined or were part of at Holy Family?
Well, probably the young adult group. That was the first thing. Actually, before that, I was coming to a Tuesday night rosary in the chapel. But that was the very first thing. And as young adults, then we served the parish in a lot of different ways. It was a big, vibrant group at the time. So,
how did you get involved in that?
I was just out of college and looking for something to grow in my faith and get to know other Catholics, and I just courageously walked through the door oh, how is this going to go? And we were meeting in what was the old living room then. Okay. And it was just such a great welcoming group that I stayed every Sunday night and on.
And is that how you became part of the Holy Family Parish? Through that group? Versus being part of the parish and then joining your
my mom was a parishioner here, and so I kind of was coming a little bit on Sundays, and I had been in LA and moving back to this area trying to figure out, so I came along with her and we're just coming on Sundays. But I think before really diving in as a parishioner, I think it went right into the young adult group. So
all right. I've been here ever since.
Yeah, and it was so life-giving, and my lifelong friends from that group were still all very close friends.
How did you come to faith in Christ?
So I was cradle Catholic, raised going to Mass every Sunday, but not a lot beyond that, except my mom went through a period of time where she was involved in the charismatic renewal, and I was really young at the time, and I was getting very involved in that, and then we had to move away. My dad was in the military, and so I kind of got away from some of those opportunities, and I was involved in CYO, the Catholic Youth Organization, at my parish in high school, but I still didn't really own my faith. I was kind of just going through a lot of the teen youth group motions at the time. And then in college I went to a marginally Catholic university and probably struggled the most, like most people. But when I left college and came here, it was really the young adult group. That's when I got there and I met these incredibly inspirational young people who loved the Lord. They weren't getting together just to have social time, even though that grew out of that group. It was really, Bible studies, learning so much about our faith. And we stayed together even after we were no longer young adults, and we went on into a prayer group together that was already established. We all kind of joined that and just really dove in from there, meeting every week with people who love the Lord and really being inspired by them, and just getting into the teachings of the church and reading more of the Bible and getting to know the church fathers, and it just from there really just grew.
Would you say that period is perhaps when your faith became yours versus the faith of your parents?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think as cradle Catholics, we have to go through that transition, right? It goes. We go from being, dutiful children, if you will, or maybe not dutiful, just that's what mom and dad say we're going to do, or I'm going to mass, or I'm getting in trouble, to a point where it becomes our own. So is that that young adult group that
The young
that helped
adult
form
group,
that?
definitely.
Okay.
And again, just to be really inspired by other people who were looking for something more. We're not okay with just what the world has to give us. We know Jesus, and we know the church, and we love the church, and we were all kind of growing and learning together at that time, and it was really, really exciting time and life-changing. We've all continued to meet, and we all, talk about some of those days and how much we grew in our faith together, being inspired together, but really just learning a lot about your faith. You go through the motions, but when you really understand what the church teaches and why it teaches what it does, you really grow that love for, what you're drawn to. So,
Why do you go to Mass so faithfully?
I need the grace of the sacrament. I started coming more regularly besides Sunday Mass, to daily Mass, when I knew of other people that were, doing that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go do this. But then just the life-giving homily, the opportunity to pray, little pieces of that. But as I became a mom and all of those challenges of motherhood, every day, I needed the grace of the sacrament. I knew that I could not do this without something supernatural. It couldn't be just me trying to, make that time in the morning so to just sit down and pray, and that doesn't always, happen, but just coming here, and we made that part of our routine and our self-discipline. Really grow in your faith, you have to really begin sometimes with self-discipline, and just the self-discipline and commitment of saying we're going to do this every day. And we would start our day like that, and you feel like, you have that spiritual growth and grace just at the start of the day when you need it. And then I just fell in love with the Mass. Like, if you can come during the week and you just see Mass in a different way than you do on Sunday, which is wonderful in all of its grandeur, but when you come to the quiet contemplative Mass of encountering Jesus during the week, it just brings so much life to it. So anyway, I loved that, and I just, once we started doing that, I couldn't not do it anymore.
So when I first came to Holy Family, this was 2004.
Okay. Wow.
I was, I was able to go to daily Mass at that time, and I can remember going to daily Mass. Just joined the parish, and going to daily Mass and seeing this family with 5 children in them,
kids.
and going,
Yeah.
wow, I got to step it up. That was such an inspiration to me. It really was that you and your family would make that a daily routine, and as you said, a discipline and habit. What advice might you give to parents on how to perhaps approach that challenge or difficulty of, and Holy Family has always been great about, accepting the noise and bustle of children in the pews, right? But what advice would you give? How did you approach that?
Well, the thing that I would say, and I always tell people, if you have a hard time getting through Mass on Sunday, come more often. It sounds funny to say, but if you can get to a Saturday Mass or something else, it helps the kids to see more of what's actually happening. And I feel like when I talk to people about that, their kids experience Mass in a different way. So it sounds crazy to say, if it's not going well on Sunday, just come more often. But that's one piece of it. And then the other piece of it is, I think, as parents, as humans, we want to go through this Mass experience and see the grace of it, right? We want some fruit. We want it to look like, I got something out of the homily and my kids were well behaved. And you have to let go of all that. You just have to say, you know what? We came because this is where the life is, and we're going to keep doing this. And the grace and the fruit may come later. And the other thing I think too is that as families, as parents, you're super self-conscious of how much noise you're making to the next person. I'm being distracting. My kids aren't, behaving. They look at that family and all their kids are kneeling and they're behaving, and my kids are all over the place, and my kids would be all over the place, and I'd be so self-conscious. But to have like an older person say to you, thank you for bringing your children, you know. And now that I'm an older person, I look to young people and say, thank you for bringing your kids. Thank you for making that sacrifice. This is a gift to them, but it's a gift to the church, because we can't have a bunch of us old people here. We need the life. We need the life of the little ones, and they need to see it. It's all part of the family. And I wish sometimes when I see a mom and they're struggling, you can see them nearly in tears, and they want to take their baby out and everything, and I just want to say, you know, you're here. Thanks be to God. We're all thankful you're here. Keep coming. Don't not come next week. Just do it, you know.
Yeah, as parents, we're also given the responsibility, the mission, if you will, of being our children's catechists, right? We're their primary catechists. It's up to us to pass on the faith, you know. And if we don't pass on the faith disappears, right? You know, you know, and you know, so what has that been like for you, as a mom, as a parent, you know, as that, you know, partner with your husband as a primary catechist for your children, you know?
I think it's been the greatest and gravest burden of responsibility as a parent. And I think the hardest part is, again, we want to put something in and see something come out, right? You want to just say this and teach your kids and do things and have it all just come out. And there's a lot of, you know, there's just a lot of working it out along the way and helping your kids to know and love God. It's a big effort. It's an everyday, all day, day in and day out commitment. That isn't just something that happens on Sunday. And you grow in your own faith, I think, along the way. You know, the kids ask you questions you're not really sure. But for us, we tried to make, you know, our spiritual practices part of our life every day, all day. You know, starting with Mass in the morning. We went through a period of time when we said the Angelus. Our kids are home, you know, with us, so said the Angelus, you know, in the middle of the day, taking them to a holy hour, getting them to help them know priests and seminarians, having a copy of the catechism in your home at the time, and someone will ask something about something and you're like, well, what does the church have to say, you know, and you can look that up, and teaching your kids about those resources, and also just the lives of the saints. That's a really simple thing that people can do, is to learn about the lives of the saints. And actually, another thing that I really want to recommend to people is that they celebrate their children's baptism anniversary. They know when that is. Go back and look up your kids and make that a special thing. This is the day that your life changed. There's an indelible mark on your soul that your life, this is the greatest day of your life. Even, you know, if your son became Pope or something, it's still the greatest day of his life. So, you know, teaching them about that, and then their patron saints, you know, and really calling on their patron saint if you have struggles or something like that. You know, we'll ask Saint Elizabeth to pray for us. That's the saint that you chose at your confirmation, or this is the saint that we chose for you at baptism. Just incorporating those little things. They're really small, but then it helps kids to see that it's not just something that we just go through on Sundays. So.
Right. And, you know, so obviously we're also not alone in this mission, right? How has the community of Holy Family in the parish helped in that mission?
Yeah, well, we are fortunate that our very best friends, all of the friends that surround us, we met in the pews here. I mean, that's just who is our life. They're godparents to our children, we're godparents to their children, and so our life here, like, it never was just, again, a Sunday thing. It was the people that we saw all week. It was the being here after Mass, coffee and donuts, staying here for like 3 hours in the community center, working the next coffee and donuts, and just being here with everyone. This is our kids' second home. This was just the life they saw, the families around them living the same life they were. So.
All right. We're going to finish with something I've totally stolen from the actor's studio.
Okay.
But he stole it from somebody else too, so, you know, hey. So we're going to have some fun with this, just as, you know, we're going to end kind of each guest with the same set of questions.
Okay.
Just to kind of see how they answer them.
Okay.
Okay? So, you know, what's your favorite word?
Providence.
What's your least favorite word?
Lazy. I don't know.
What turns you on?
My family.
What turns you off?
My family. No, we can't. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Unhappy people, I think, but no, I don't know. Yes, okay.
What sound or noise do you love?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to say the sound of a baby.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, I hate, this is going to be so embarrassing. I hate the sound of like loud eating. Like I don't, I hate that sound.
Who is your favorite saint?
Oh gosh, where do I go there? I will have to say, let me think. That is such a hard question. I got to narrow it down for what particular reason. Well, I will say Elizabeth Seton because she's my patron, but I mean, that's a rough one. But yes, she's my patron. She was a mother and a sister and a convert, and anyway, super inspirational, but yeah.
Okay. A couple more here. What ministry, other than one you already do, would you like to attempt?
I think maybe like baptism preparation, something along that line, but.
Right. What ministry would you never want to do?
Wow. I don't know. I don't know.
Last one. What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, gosh. Well, everyone wants to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. I suppose that's probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mary. This has been a wonderful time.
Thanks.
Thank you for taking the time to be our first guest.
Oh, thank you.
And,
it was nice. Thank you.
Glad to see someone face to face. And
oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thanks so much. You made it very easy. I really enjoyed talking with you. So.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's a wrap on our first episode of Getting to Know the Family. I'd like to thank Mary Herbst for taking the time to be our first guest, sitting down with us and sharing her faith. If you'd like to be part of a future episode, go ahead and contact Christina in the parish office. We'd love to talk with you. Go ahead and hit that like button, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time on Getting to Know the Family.